Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Izzy Seiko, and I'm back with another discussion. Today, I just want to talk about what makes a locals actually a good locals. What do we look for from these places where we spend so much time and play this card game and give so much money to for boxes, sleeves, and all of these other items that we need to play Yu-Gi-Oh? I decided to do this video because I've been to quite a few locals and I've had a really shitty experience, either getting followed upstairs and asked to pay the $5 when I'm actually a regular there, and very, very adamant about spending the $5 before we even walk upstairs. It's very awkward, and it's like, why do that to your customers when you know that they're there every single tournament and they're gonna spend $5 anyway? Or from like no AC, no Wi-Fi, the smell, the cleanliness of the locals in general, never having toilet paper in the bathrooms. These are things that are really deterrent when you want to spend 3 to 4 hours there a week, and it sucks. So I made a list here of the things I think are indicative of a really, really good locals and places that you actually want to spend money at. So I think the first most important thing about a good locals is having workers who actually give a shit and know what they're doing and what they're talking about. Because nothing is worse when you go in to try to find a specific common that no one knows what it is, and you say, hey, I'm looking for this card. And the worker says, oh, well, what set is it in? Or what is that? So then you tell them the set number, and they have to flip through God knows how many binders to find the card, and they have no idea what the card does, what the card is, what it even looks like. So you have to assist the worker in finding out where the card is. And this could take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes to just find one card. I think that having people who actually play the game on your staff is very, very important. And I don't know why you would hire anyone to assist card players in playing cards if they don't play cards, which doesn't make sense. The second most important thing I think is the seating arrangements. If you don't have enough room to seat all your players, then you need to either expand your store or set a cap limit for your tournaments. If your store can only seat 20 to 30 people, you shouldn't be signing up 40 to 45 people for your tournaments, because that just makes for hell. You're going to have to do 2 rounds per actual round to get the first round over with so that everyone can be seated. People will have to step out. It's very sloppy and it's no good. And even aside from tournaments, no one wants to be at a locals where everyone is touching each other and up on each other. I don't want to smell everyone's smells. I don't want people breathing down my neck while I play. It's uncomfortable and it's unprofessional. Everyone may not agree with this one, but I think having food available for your players is pretty important. Whether it's like chips or candy or water or soda or some other healthy alternative, if that's the life that you're about, I think that food is super important, because you're sitting there for 2 to 3 hours while a tournament is going on, and between rounds you may want a snack and you may not have time to run out and get that snack, and then you get grumpy and you don't play your best. So having snacks available for your players is very important, in my personal opinion. The most important out of everything is reasonable prices. The whole reason we're at your locals is not just to play, it's to buy product. So if your prices are crazy through the roof and you're charging an unreasonable amount for singles, no one is going to come to your store. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. And I've had issues with a specific locals that their card prices are always incorrect. So even if a card is hit by the ban list, they'll still have the card at its original price even prior to the ban list. They don't do their research, and this is also because of their workers, and their workers don't know the prices either. So until a player comes in and says, hey man, this card is not that price, that card will be at 45 when it's now 10 because it was reprinted or because it was hit. It's unacceptable and it's no good, and that is one of the reasons why I no longer go to that locals. A set buy list is also really important. A lot of players like to make their profit from the game through picking up cards at a low price and then selling them back to the locals at a higher price or as some sort of profit. If you have a buy list and you tell me that you're picking up Pot of Desires for 70s, and I pick up a Pot of Desire and I come to sell it to you and you tell me that you're not taking it anymore, I mean, I'll be pretty irritated. And I use Pot of Desires just as an example. Of course, if you got one for 70, I'd probably hold on to it. But it's just an example. If you're picking up cards and you're a vendor and you're relying on that locals to pick up these cards from you at a certain price, and when you get there, they're telling you they're no longer picking it up, it's pretty irritating, and it can like mess with your flow of the game. And last but not least, accessibility and closeness to transportation. I don't want to go to bumfuck nowhere to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And the tournament ends at 9 p.m. and I'm stranded in the middle of nowhere because I wanted to play cards. So I think that it's a little bit less under the control of the management of these locals, but when you're picking a space to open a store, you want to pick it as close to transportation as possible for these players, because people are coming from all over the boroughs. Like people from the Bronx, I've seen come down to Brooklyn. People from Brooklyn traveling to Queens. It's very difficult to get to a local if you have to take a train and then a bus and then walk. So I think that also plays into how good a locals is. That's really all that I care about. So it's like employees who know what they're doing, a set buy list, reasonable prices, having food and snacks available, and seating, being able to actually seat all of your players. I think those are the top most important things that I look for in a locals. Let me know what you guys think is indicative of a pretty good locals. Where do you play? If you're not from New York, list what stores or what locals are in your area and what you think of them. If there's a locals that you absolutely hate, I'm not saying to bash on it in the comments, but let me know what's wrong with that locals. Why don't you go there anymore? Did you have an issue with them? Or is it just not a place that you find yourself every day because of one of the things I listed? Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with your friends, and I'll see you next time.